First and foremost, I hope everybody had a happy new year. I hope everybody had a nice holiday season. Let's go into 2022 with a bang, and hopefully this year will be better than the last year. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So about a month ago, I've beaten Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and yes, I'm a little late on this. I was busy at work, you know how the holiday is. But since I've completed it, I might as well give you my overall thoughts on the game. But before we do that, we might as well go down the history of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, before the game was even announced, a lot of fans were hoping for a Sinnoh remake. I mean, why not? Kanto got 2 remakes, Johto got a remake which turned out to be one of the best Pokemon games of all time, and even Hoenn got its own remake, so it was pretty much a no-brainer for Sinnoh to be the next region to be remade. And as a result, a lot of people were looking for even the slightest hints of a Sinnoh remake. And then when Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were announced, along with Legends Arceus at a Pokemon Direct, a lot of fans were a little concerned about the game, mainly because of the art style of the game. However, I really wasn't that concerned because the art style itself kind of reminded me of Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So I wasn't too bothered by it. And when the second trailer came, I was actually really open to buying the game, mainly because it was bringing back features that were well liked from the originals, as well as previous games such as following Pokemon contests, as well as the Underground. And now that I've played through the game and beaten it, what are my thoughts on it? It's, well, okay. However, first I'll start with the positives. One of the positives being the graphics. I really like the art style. Like I said, reminds me of Link's Awakening, and I love the bloom effect to the surrounding areas. I also like how they use HMs in this game. Instead of relying on a HM move for your Pokemon, you actually use the Pokétch in order to summon a wild Pokemon to do the HM move for you. And I also like how it appealed to the internet memes with most of the HM moves being done by Bidoof. Granted, I kind of wish they would have used other Pokemon to do the HM moves, mainly depending on which area of Sinnoh you're in. But hey, it's actually not too bad. Now, another positive for this game that I'd like to give is the Underground, where it's now called the Grand Underground, and you can capture certain wild Pokemon in the area. Well, depending on which biome you're in. And another positive thing that I like about the game is the usage of mythical Pokemon, specifically being able to capture certain mythical legendary Pokemon in the US, you know, mainly the Arceus event that was never released, so that was a positive. And the one last positive thing I have for this game has to be the added feature of customization. I really like how you can customize your character. Granted, you don't really do that until you get to Veilstone City, but it's still a nice feature, and I also like that you get to wear Platinum clothes, which is kind of partially the only thing from Platinum you get in this game. Which brings me to the negatives of this game. Now, the one main negative I have for this game has to be the fact that this is a faithful remake of Diamond and Pearl. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. How is this a problem? Well, Diamond and Pearl are one of the worst games in the series next to Sword and Shield and the original Red and Blue. Now, one of the major problems with Diamond and Pearl has to do with the lack of certain Pokemon, i.e. there was only 151 Pokemon in the Pokédex. Subtle. Now I know what you're thinking, how is this a problem? Well, this Pokédex didn't have that many certain Pokemon that were introduced in the Sinnoh region. Specifically, new evolutions for certain Pokemon, i.e. Rhyperior, Magnezone, Electivire, Magmortar, Frostlass, Porygon Z, Glaceon, Leafeon, Yanmega, Tangrowth, the list goes on. You couldn't obtain those Pokemon until you've beaten the Elite Four. Thankfully, Platinum fixed this by adding in 59 Pokemon and making them more available in the wild. Now, Brilliant Diamond somewhat fixes this by adding in the Pokemon in the Grand Underground. However, you cannot evolve some of them into their final forms without beating the game, meaning you can't obtain Pokemon such as Gliscor, Rhyperior, as well as Porygon Z. In fact, some of the Pokemon that are available in the Underground don't even have Pokédex entries, mainly some of the Pokemon that evolve into their Sinnoh evolutions, as well as some of the fire types that were available in Platinum that are in the Underground. So if you're not going to give them their proper evolutions early on before you beat the Elite Four, and you're not going to give them entries into the Pokédex, you know, before the National Dex, what was the point of adding them? However, this isn't the only thing they didn't add from Platinum. Now let's move on to the story bits. Now, Diamond and Pearl had a pretty much simple story. You go around collecting gym badges, you fight the evil team, beat the evil team, and capture the legendary Pokemon. Pretty much your standard Pokemon game. Now, why do I say this? Well, Diamond and Pearl's story is kind of a downgrade compared to Generation 3's story. and it's mainly because of the legendaries, because Dialga and Palkia have no presence in the game compared to Groudon and Kyogre. Because when Groudon and Kyogre are summoned by the evil team, their presence is felt through certain parts of the Hoenn region. Mainly because of them controlling the weather, they're pretty much messing up the weather whenever they're around. They actually feel like forces of nature. Dialga and Palkia don't really do that, they just have a boring light show. Now, how did Platinum fix this? Well, they fixed this by having Cyrus, the leader of Team Galactic, summon both Dialga and Palkia, which results in a cutscene involving the Lake Trio showing up to stop both of them, and then results in Giratina, the Pokemon equivalent of Satan, showing up and dragging Cyrus into the Distortion World, and both the main player character and Cynthia go into the Distortion World to chase after him, where you have a final confrontation with Cyrus, and then you battle to capture Giratina. That was one of the most iconic scenes in Pokemon history. What does BDSP do? None of that. You get the same bland, boring Pokemon stands in the middle of the Spirit Pillar and does a crazy light show and nothing really changes. This would have been a perfect opportunity to expand upon Dialga and Palkia's abilities. For example, because Dialga controls time, it could have been able to teleport you to various different points of history within the Sinnoh region, even back when Sinnoh was called Hisui, tying into Legends Arceus. Or even better, this could have been a great opportunity to also expand upon the lore of Arceus, mainly due to the fact of the existence of parallel universes, which could also tie to Ultra Beast and Ultra Necrozma, but they decided not to do anything with it. Now I know what you guys are thinking, why should they go all out for a very simple Faithful remake? Well, it's simple. Let's compare this to other Pokemon remakes. Fire Red and Leaf Green, while they were faithful, and I use the term loosely, to the original Red and Green, it added in more elements to make it fresh, i.e. the Seve Islands, as well as double battles. Plus, after you defeat the Team Rocket branch in the Seve Islands, they actually hint at being the same Team Rocket executives from Gold and Silver, and they also hint at the possibility of Giovanni having a son, which was later expanded upon in the next remake. Speaking of which, Heart Gold and Soul Silver also added in elements of Crystal, while at the same time keeping true to Gold and Silver. For example, they kept in the storyline involving Yucine and Suicune, but they also expanded upon the lore of Johto, i.e. connecting it to the Sinnoh region as well as the Hoenn region with areas such as the Embedded Tower as well as the Sinjo ruins. Plus, thanks to certain time travel events, we actually find out that the reason why Silver is the way he is because his father is Giovanni and his father abandoned him after he lost to Red and Blue. So pretty much Heart Gold and Soul Silver does what a Pokemon remake is supposed to do. Take whatever made the original version popular and expand upon it, while adding in new features and new story beats in order to make the game seem more fresh. Or for another example of the remake done decently right, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. While Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire didn't even have that many features from Emerald, i.e. the missing Battle Frontier, it did acknowledge the third version in a way due to the Delta episode. The Delta episode expands upon Rayquaza's role within the Hoenn region, as well as tying it to Mega Evolution. What does BDSP do with Giratina? Sticks him back into Turnback Cave and does absolutely nothing with him. Well, actually it does one thing, but that one thing is kind of lazy, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, the other problem I do have with this game has to be the affection mechanic coming back from Sword and Shield, where it makes the game a lot easier. And how you gain affection? By following Pokemon. Basically, following Pokemon ties into the affection mechanic, as well as the Pokemon happiness, which makes the game easier to the point to where it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime levels of cheating. Because of how high the affection will be, you pretty much can tank hits that would one-hit KO you, and you can pretty much not be affected by different status conditions. And you can even dodge moves that have high accuracy. And it even makes the fight with Cynthia a lot easier. Well, slightly easier, unless you're playing the post-game version. Now, I will give the post-game some credit in terms of being able to rematch all the gym leaders and Elite Four members. They actually have their Platinum teams. All their Pokemon have high IVs and they use items. So I'll give them credit for that. I mean, granted, I'm not really gonna play it in any way because of the main game being boring, but I still give them credit for that. Now, overall, I will say Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they're decent Pokemon games. However, they're not very good remakes. In fact, even Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are better games than this. In fact, I can't really call Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl a remake because it feels more like a remaster and not a remake. A remaster that's not really worth $60. If you really want a definitive Sinnoh experience, go play Platinum. Just play Platinum, emulate it on your computer for free, and you're good. Or if you want a great monster catching game on Nintendo Switch, go play Shin Megami Tensei 5, or even the Digimon Cyber Sleuth collection. This is not worth $60. Now, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys all on the next video. Take care.